I think it's wise to move the vehicle along.
I'll make a motion we do that.
We have a motion, we have a second, now it's time for discussion.
Any idea what it's worth? I mean, I have no idea.
What year is it, Kenny?
You're not gonna get a lot out of it. I don't even remember what year model that car is.
Isn't it a 2010?
Something like this, in that ballpark. You might get $1,000 out of it, maybe.
Once he quits making that racket, it drives great.
And then where do we put the money? Is it going to general reserve?
General revenue.
So, any more discussion?
Get through that racket.
Put it up for bids.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We didn't mention it, but a date, let's say 2 weeks from this evening, next council meeting,
That'll be good.
fair enough?
Next council meeting's actually 3 weeks, I believe.
We've got an extra week, so we'll do
Okay.
it.
3 weeks?
Yes, we got 5 shoots.
And we will open it during open session in the council meeting.
All right.
All right, item F is we have roll-off dumpsters at the compost facility. This is not the discussion to continue that. What I was getting after is, we don't know when the last time the sanitation and the roll-off dumpsters have been bidded. So I thought it might be a good idea to bring it to the council, see if you all like to have our sanitation dumpsters and those roll-off dumpsters competitive bid.
Is it costing us money?
Yes, sir. Every time they dump it.
But we'll also collect some money from on the dumpster.
I cannot
We
answer
charge
if it's a
small
break
fee.
even or not, but it's,
Last year, it was not a break even, it was losing a little money here and there. It might make a little bit at one time, but then it would lose 2 or 3 times, and it was, if it broke even, it's barely breaking even. This year, I don't know, I could get some numbers if y'all want them for this year.
How many do we keep there? 3 or 4?
Usually 3, and there was a tire dumpster, they picked it up yesterday. I don't know if they'll bring another one back, because at one time they said they couldn't take tires anymore. So I don't know if they'll bring one of those back or not, but generally 3 30-yard dumpsters.
Do you know what it's costing us a year?
I'd have to figure it up, Steve. It's like $195 a month for the dumpster plus tonnage. And tonnage can be,
variable, that's variable a lot of times.
tonnage is very variable.
Yeah.
It depends, because we take concrete,
Mhm.
just pretty much anything. So it could be one of those where we don't do too bad on it, or we might really.
Can you give us a
Yes.
report on how we did last year?
I've got those numbers, I can get them to you. I don't
Okay.
have them with me right now, but I can let you know.
Next
but
council
it-
meeting will be fine.
Okay, okay.
For the new councilman, we started this several years ago to try to help Kennett, clean up Kennett, where the residents could bring it out there at a reduced rate, because it's a cheaper rate than what you can get at your own dumpster and put it in your own driveway and stuff. But, you know, just to try to help clean up, we realize everybody doesn't have access to take stuff out there. But for years, they stay full.
Yeah.
Probably
Oh, they
one
stay
off
full.
week.
Yeah, they stay full. And we actually did raise the rates a little bit, and then we really had a lot of complaints. So it was decided to lower them back down a little bit, where people could more afford it.
Can you bring us those rates as well next time?
I can.
How about we table this to the next meeting?
Next meeting.
Everybody good with that?
Yep.
Okay. Put that on the agenda for next meeting, please. In your packet or on the email, it's the bank balances. Any questions regarding those? All right. Also, you have the statement of revenue expenditures. We have a motion to pass those. So moved. Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any questions? See, not any?
We don't have enough money there to make budget.
That's true.
If you want to start the next.
So all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Okay, we're down to the mayor report. Real simple, real clear. I just wanted to get it out in public. You all have been hearing a lot about finances. Basically, to sum it up, for the past 2 years and The third year was not quite this amount, but the past 2 years, we've been spending about $1 million more than we're taking in. City government has. Do the math and you see this is not sustainable. So we have asked all the departments for a 20% cut in their budget from 2020, this current year's budget. That would bring it to $4 million. That is taking $1 of tax revenue and giving it to the departments for $1. That's not having any contingency or any kind of a savings account. So I imagine there's rumors out, but that's the sum of it. It's that we've got to bring our budget and our financial house back in order. And that's what we're going to work toward on this budget year. So
Our projected numbers were in line, so it's our expenditures that, if you remember last year about this time, we had the same discussion. We said we have to make small corrections. If not, we'll have to make bigger corrections later. Well, we're at the point where we have to make the bigger corrections now. We tapped in every savings, in our regular checkings, and we managed to make it through this year, but if we don't make those cuts, we're not gonna be able to cash flow for next year.
our revenue, as you all are aware probably, is we are a sales tax community. Our sales tax, when that happened, was roughly about 10 years ago. Projections at that time were $1.3 million, which 1% general sales tax would bring in. We operate off a 2% sales tax for our general revenue. Working off the 1.3 million projection from 10 years ago, cost of living, inflation, say it's a 3% across the board for those 10 years, that puts us at 1.7 million. We're currently bringing in 1.75 million. I know it's a lot of numbers.
Actually, we're bringing up to today, we have brought in, and if we average the next month, we'll be up to 1.831.
So our revenue is keeping up with inflation.
We brought in $193,000 more last year than we had projected.
So there's been complaints about the way we tax, but that tax has actually saved our hind ends many times over, and it's keeping up with inflation. So we've just got to control the expenditures. We've got to get them back in order. Each one of you's got a report, and media or anyone in the public wants to report, this is your money, this is your tax money, this is your city. We are open ears. If you have a better solution to save $1 million, we're all ears. It takes a village. And that's what I'm asking from the community, and council office say that's the same thing. But within the last 3 years, our expenditures shot up. And to the point where it's, like I said, we're spending $1 million more than we're taking in. So we gotta get that back in order. That is my dismal report, but it's the fact. And we'll work on that this month, and we'll have a budget ready, a balanced budget ready for next year.
Last year, the request was for, all the requests were totaled $4,865,000. The preliminary request that we had was $5,749,000. $883,000 difference. So we gotta go from 5.745 down to 4.14 million.
And that's why the capital improvements tax, you will hear a lot about that. Unfortunately, that tax has been, we've created loan payments out of the tax that sunsets. So we have, $300,000 to $400,000. We'll get you the exact figure, talk to the public. But if that tax is not passed, let's just say $400,000 has to come out of this budget that we've already cut $1 million. So you see how
I do have that number is 483,000.
483 is committed, long-term commitment.
No, that is what we're bringing in. On
We're
the
bringing in
capital.
roughly
Capital
about
improvements.
350 to 400,000, I believe, is committed.
Correct.
But we'll get the exact figure.
Correct.
So that's how critical the capital improvements tax has to be continued. But I'll leave it at that. Public comments. Who wants to follow that up? All right, let's see, there's not any. Anything else before we adjourn the open session? Let's see, not any. Well, we need to have a vote to go close the current meeting, and then a vote to go into closed session to discuss
Motion.
personnel. We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor of adjourning the open session?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Motion to go closed session. We have a motion from Wayne. We have a second. All right. And this has to be a roll call vote, and we start over here, so.
Aye.
Yes.
Motion passes. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you all being here this evening. We'll have we'll take a 10-minute break before we come back in.